Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm at the bathroom of Glendale Community College, and I want to point out something that is unfortunately, frustratingly common nowadays. Although I think GCC ought to know better. So I'm at the bathroom sink, and they have this so-called water-saving facilities. And not only is it very hard to turn on, it often turns off while you're washing, and it's a very slow trickle of water. And it sounds like a good idea until one of these days, if you have severe food allergies and you get something offending on you and you need to wash it off really quickly, it becomes extremely frustrating. What they need to, well, first of all, they need to trust the students not to waste water, right? If you have students who will refuse to turn the tap off for whatever reason, you need to deal with that one or two or three students out of an entire campus, not inconvenience everybody else who has important things to get to. What's really frustrating is that on the very first day of orientation, they actually forced me to give a whole slide about understanding students with food allergies and all that, and yet they come up with this idea, right? And look at that. They want us to keep good hygiene, and then they make it difficult to wash. Isn't that funny? So one time I had gotten something on I have eczema, and I had gotten something potentially offensive on my skin. This was at a different school that also had the audacity to come up with such an idea. And I actually had to dunk my hands in the toilet that time. And then I washed it slowly, right? Because I'm not going to react badly to organic material that might be in the toilet, but I needed to get the potentially offending substance off of my skin. But anyway, so that's one of those things where, people who abuse things really ruin it for everybody else, right? The one or two students out of an entire campus who might decide to leave the tap on overnight just because they don't want to be bothered by it really ruin it for everybody else involved, right? Including everybody else who comes into contact with somebody who can't properly wash their hands, and now they're coughing and sneezing on everybody else. Even if you're never affected by this, you're still affected by that, right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.